numbers. You'll find that Missourians in general, in comparison with the rest of the nation, are older, whiter, and less educated, and therefore translates to less globally traveled. If you think about the big changes in immigration that have occurred in the 20th century, a lot of it happened post-1965 with the change in the Immigration and Nationalities Act that was signed by Lyndon J. Baines Johnson. You think about an older, whiter nation that in 1970 was 2.5% immigrant. That's what we were in Missouri. And you translate that, what you find is you find a population that's grown up, that basically has grown up with people just like them around them. They don't understand diversity because they've not had the opportunity to get to know it, to be with it on a daily basis in terms of immigrant diversity.
What has happened in the Midwest is over a period of time, we've assimilated in the Irish, the Germans, the Italians, the European immigrants, and so we're all one and the same. We have not had the same experience in Asia, in Africa, in Central and South America, in those cultures. And that's where the immigrants need to occur and come in the years ahead. More immigrants, more activity, more jobs in the Midwest. And we've got to start selling that message. And you don't, sadly, you don't do it in this room. Because everybody probably here today is convinced that we need to be doing this. But we've got to figure out how we do it to people that don't show up to these type of events or don't come to the special events we have once a year with our own conclave of citizens.
So if I can just put a little plug for KBTC9 Network, they are trying to encourage the dialogue around the issue and bring more education, I think, to the issue of immigration.
And Missourians are not unlike folks in other parts of the country in this respect. They overwhelmingly, a majority, good-sized majority, were positive about immigrants in terms of their being here, their contribution, their work ethic, their family values, their religious values. All of those things were very, very positive in terms of the responses that we got. It's not that folks out there don't understand. It's getting folks to actually begin to talk out loud, which is what Holden, I think, has been trying to do, and that is just to get the conversation out loud to make sure that what we started in 2003 in terms of pulling folks out of the shadows now becomes a real full-fledged community discussion.
There's a lot of finger pointing, there's a lot of just real animus in the middle of all this that I think has a lot to do with how acerbic it's become in the political environment right now. And immigrants are regrettably part of the fallout from that because they do not have a strong advocacy group behind them the way that senior citizens might or youth might, etc. Where there are lots of undocumented, there's also economic growth. Is it the economic growth that attracts the undocumented? Or the fact that the undocumented are there that creates economic growth? Chicago has 65,000 undocumented in the city of Chicago. They are the backbone of their tourism and hotel industry. How the heck are they going to put on a major convention in Chicago without having the undocumented population of those jobs?
I would like to applaud you for putting this on. I am a white male over the age of 50, and we are awash in ignorance. I mean, we really are. I would like to hear how we go forward and what the next steps will be.
So I think we have to sort of identify the privilege and really use it to the benefit of this issue. And so I think, I applaud you for just even thinking that way. And then the second thing is, I think to this person's point over here, is that it's easy when you get into this diversity work to go down your diversity checklist and say, I went to Cherokee Street, check. I went to Beau Grand, check. I went to India Rasoy, check. I'm good. I went to the International Institute. As wonderful as the festival is over the summer, everyone should go to it this summer. But it's easy to say, okay, I'm good. I did my piece around diversity and inclusion, and now I'm going to move on.
You come into St. Louis through the airport, come on one of our highways, what do you see when you come into St. Louis? You see a lot of people on the car, but you went to Chicago, and you went to that airport. How many flags of different nations where they've got sister city relationships and school relationships and everything else hanging in there? So when you walk through that airport, what's the first thing that registers in your mind? Hey, this is a place where I can fit in. The reason the president who came to Chicago is because Chicago had been working for 20 years in putting in Confucius Institutes, building relationships on a cultural level, putting foreign languages into their schools. They had been just weaving year in and year out, sending the message that we are open to new people, new ideas, fresh thought, and we welcome you here. What are we doing in St. Louis to send that message? Very little.
You know, the question should be, what can I do today? Talk to that immigrant, find out his story, understand what brought him here, him or her. That's what you can do. Yes, you can get involved in a whole number of different activities, but you have to first understand education and awareness. I think are absolutely critical. You know, that handout I held out about the facts about immigration. You have to understand what is immigration all about. It's only then can you talk intelligently to somebody else about immigration. There is so much anti-immigrant propaganda in the media today. Learn the difference between what is and what is not. And it took me at least 10 to 15 years to come to grips with what is this great country all about. Okay, growing up as a kid in India, we had heard about it. It's when you come here, you live the life, that's when you understand what the U.S. is all about. Why do people want to come here? Immigrants go where the jobs are. I think Anne mentioned that, the governor mentioned it. And if we don't have enough jobs, if we don't have enough economic prosperity in St. Louis, immigrants are not going to flock here. It doesn't matter what we do.
Our challenge in Missouri is that nobody here, there aren't a lot of immigrant voters, U.S. citizen voters now who are immigrants, etc. And if we as the lobby don't get together and create some kind of momentum and motion, then they just figure that it's an issue they can roll right over right now. So there is no other side. And so that's the importance then of being able to coalesce around certain kinds of issues and make a difference. Because right now they think they got the whole floor and there's no need for another side. Thank you very much. There are plenty of opportunities to get involved. There's information that's been circulated. There's other information on the web, on our different sites, etc. Thanks again to our panelists, Kim, Al, and Murray.